Hello, everyone, and welcome you all to another chapter of the Flutter tutorial. So now we are on our chapter number 8, where we'll be learning about the Material App class. Includes, so let's not waste much time and let's get started. So first, we're gonna learn that what the Material App is. Okay. So the Material App is basically a predefined class in Flutter. Okay, so in our last class, we do have created a class named as Material App. We have returned that as well. Okay, so this is basically a predefined class. And also this is the core component of Flutter. Okay, so this is the core and one of the main component of Flutter. And why the Material App component is very important. Okay, so this is something important that we should know as we are actually doing this separate chapter on the Material App. So some of its features are that it controls the primary color, which is going to be used in the application. Let's say we can basically fix from the Material App or basically write the code that what color the primary application or the primary color that the application will look like. Okay. And also the next one is that it controls that what kind of theme will be used in the application. Okay. Like whether a dark theme will be used, whether a normal theme will be used, what kind of color in case of a dark theme will be used, what kind of color will be used if I'm just normally in my application. So it controls all those simple things as well. Okay. And the next point over here is that it also decides whether to show the debug banner or not. Okay. And also it takes the Boolean value. So if you guys have noticed, once I have opened my application on the right hand side top corner, there was a small banner known as the debug banner because there it was shown written debug. Okay. So over here, you guys can also control that whether you want to see that particular debug banner inside your application or you don't want to see that debug application. And it basically takes the Boolean value. Okay, using true and false, you guys can decide whether you want to see the debug banner or not. And the next feature is that it also controls that which widget or which component you want to show on the default root of the app. Okay. So in simple word, if I say that it will also be able to control that once you open up that particular mobile application. Okay. So once you open a mobile application, which page you will see first or by default, or which kind of component are you going to see by default. uh, the Material App also controls these things as well. Okay, so it shows uh like the widget which you will be showing on default root of the application. Okay, and it also controls what is going to be the title for my application. Okay, so it will also control that what is going to be the title for the application over here. So now we will go into our Android Studio and we will see how it actually works. So now over here, you guys can see in our last class, we do have written this particular piece of code in the main.dart file. Okay. And over here, all only you guys can see that I do have the Material App. Okay. So by default, as you guys can see, I do have already run this one and it is running as well. But what I want to do is I will just minimize this one and let me just feed the screen. Okay, so let's come over here and let me just speed it up. And also, as I do have this Chrome app, what I'm gonna do, I'm just keep this one on site. Okay, because when I make any changes over here, I also want to see it right over here. And I am not actually planning to put any kind of emulator right now, which is going to put a lot of pressure on my PC because I'm also running OBS at the same time to record this thing. Okay, so for that now, as you guys can see over here, I do have my material app. Okay, so let's come here and let's try to add other components over here. Okay, so material app, and what I'm gonna do is let's come here, let's click on enter. Okay, I'm going to click on enter over here again. Okay, and now let's come here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna click on enter here as well. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is let's come to this particular point, and the first thing what I will do is I'll try to change out the theme. Okay, so let me turn off the caps, and here you guys can see I do have the option of theme, and over here now I will just access the component known as theme data. Okay, so I'll just put theme data, and now again I will just open the parenthesis, and from here now I will choose that once I have my theme. Okay, like once I do have my or once I have used this particular component known as the theme data, from here, what color I am going to put as the primary swatch. So from here again, I will just use the primary swatch. Okay, so as you guys can see, the primary swatch option, and inside the primary swatch option, I am going to use uh, the code of color dot, and once you click on colors dot, here you guys can see that you do have a lot of colors option available right over here. Okay, you do have blue, there is blue gray, there is cyan, brown, deep orange, deep purple. Okay, you guys can check out all of these colors. You guys can see they do have different shades of black as well. Okay, so from here now, let's say I do want to use some light colors. Okay, so let me just go with lime. Okay, so as you guys can see over here, now I have used dot lime color. Okay, so now if you just click right over here, and one thing we need to remember that once we're using this theme, or once you're working with this material app, we need to make sure that we delete constant, because theme and stuff is not going to stay constant. So that's why it's not showing me any changes. Okay, so material app, theme data, and over here you guys can see lime color, and now control S to save it up. Okay, so let's come here, return material app for theme data, and if you do want to use some other colors as well, let's go with blue. Okay, so if you do want to use blue, you guys can also use the blue color as well. Okay, so if you want to flip the semantics, you guys can also come here, and you guys can also change the semantics as well. Okay, so now once you're done here, you have already told the theme. Okay, so that is how it's going to look. And let's come here, and here you won't be able to see any changes yet. Okay, so over here, if you just come here now, let's reload it back again. Let's minimize it right over here. And now let's come to this particular point. Let's click on enter. And now I'm going to set that if my application is in dark theme, how it's going to look. Okay. So in the dark theme as well, I'm going to type theme data. And after writing theme data, let's open the parenthesis. And from here, now again, I will just type primary swatch. Okay. So in the primary swatch, again, I will just go for color. Okay. So colors dot, and from here, basically, you guys can choose the color of how it will basically look right over here. Okay. So you guys can see uh, here how it actually looks. Okay. So again, here it shows dark theme dot theme data. Okay. And if you do want to stop this one, you guys can basically stop this as well. And again, if you do want to run this particular set of code, you guys can actually run this particular set of code as well. So let me see, is there any kind of changes or not? Is there any changes at all right over here? And what I'm gonna do is let me just minimize this one and let me just put it here in one side. Okay, so let's come here and let me just put this one right over here in one side. And after that, once I have put the dark theme as well, let's click on enter. Okay. And now I am going to select the color as well. Okay. Like how the color is going to be. So over here, I do have the option of color. And from here, now I will just type color dot this amber accent. Okay. So I'm just going to take this amber accent color right over here. I can basically insert this one. Okay. So also over here, we can also add, let's say, debug show check mode banner. So if you guys now take a look, I have also imported the emulator. Okay. So now let's come here, and if I just type false, okay. So over here now I do have written false, control S to save it. And now on the left, right hand side top corner, I don't have the debug banner. Okay. So that's how you guys can actually work. So this is how it actually works. Here you can actually adjust the theme. You guys can choose that what is going to be the primary swatch color from here. Okay, so you guys will be able to choose that. You guys will be able to choose that once it basically changes. Okay, like return. Let's give it out a space. Control S to save it. Okay, so how all these things are basically going to look like. Okay, you are going to change out the color, and also over here you guys can just click and basically adjust the color. Okay, according to yourself. And if you exactly have any uh, color code, you guys can import the color code from here directly, and you guys can basically work. Okay, so that's about it. And if you want to see that what all you guys will be able to insert inside the material app, so for that, now let's come here, and once you're right over here, if you click on control, let's say control P. Okay, so once you click on control P here, you guys can see that over here you will be able to add navigator key, okay, the scaffold messenger key. Here you guys can actually put on this widget builder. You guys can see that you can include all generator root. There are a lot of things that you guys can actually use. So to see this one, just come here any place inside of this material app, and from here just click on Control plus P from your keyboard, and all of these options will basically be visible. Okay, so now from here let's click on Control S to save this thing up, and that's how the material app basically work. And yeah, I hope you guys have understood this particular class. So I hope to see you all in the next chapter where we're gonna learn more about Flutter and its application. So see you all in the next chapter. Till then, take care and goodbye, everyone.